Greetings, welcome to lecture number 5. In this lecture we will make quick work of the remaining pieces to be trimmed out. This is one of them right here. This is one of our landing gear pieces. This guy right here, and it corresponds on the airplane to this piece and this piece, two of them. And they're rather quick and easy to trim out. The measurements I used were, I took top line here, actually it ends up being the bottom, but I took a straight line of 25 inches, 25 inch straight line, and then at the on one end of the line I measured in 3.5 inches, made a mark 3.5 inches in from the end, and then I made a mark at the other end 1 3/4 inches, or actually I'm sorry, 1.5 inches in from the end. I made a mark, and then at that mark I drop a line down, draw in a line that's 1 3/4 inches long, perpendicular. Drop that down 1 3/4 inches. Same thing over here at our 3.5 inch line. Drop a 1 3/4 inch line down. And once you get those lines drawn in, you can connect those two with a 20 inch line. Should end up being about 20 inches. You can connect those two lines. And then once you get those drawn in, you can connect the dots, basically, the far end to here, and the far end on this one down into here, like that, and that'll give you a piece that looks about like this feller. Should end up looking about like that blue. Bluesy. Old blue. So that's what it'll look like. I'll drop her back a little. Yeah, pardon me. Yeah. Allergic to raw talent. And then if you can cut, once you get that out, you can use it as a template for others. But you're gonna, for one plane, each plane's gonna need 2 of those. So I put a little ×2 there. So we'll need 2 of those runners trimmed out. And moving on to our next piece, it's on a different sheet. Let's get the next sheet here. The next sheet is yes. We have the front fuselage looking piece, which corresponds on the airplane to this. Now on this one I cut the front snout off a little bit and put Velcro in place for a camera to fit on there, but originally, if you'd like, you can have her continue right on down here, and then you can, if you wish later, you can cut it off there. So to make that piece, I start out with a line of 20 inches. What's something that's slow that you wish was fast? 20 inch line, and then drop back 7 inches from that line, 7 inches from the end, make a mark and draw in a line that is 2.5 inches tall, Right there, 2.5 inches tall, and then that basically, you'll have this line, this 20-incher, and then the 2.5 inch tall line, and when you get that in, you can draw a line connecting the tail end here, connect these two lines here like that, that diagonal. Basically gives you a pretty angular looking front end on the bird. So if you want, I kind of just freehanded a little bit of a curve on that front end there. Freehand action. My freehand looks rather hideous, but you may have better luck on yours. You'll also need to make 2 of these, or at least that's what I did. My cousin, he does just one on some of the planes he makes, and he has good luck with that as well. And I've cut out 2 of them, is what I've done, and then you can kind of pancake them together and make it thicker. Seems to work pretty good. So 2 of those, and then also we're going to need another piece here that ends up being a fairly small piece. This comprises the ailerons on the plane, and they are noted here. You may remember we made the elevators the other day. These guys. Well, these ailerons will be cut out presently quite easily, and what you do with those, oh, and you may notice I put a ×4 on there. You need 2 for the ailerons, and then I also have, if you want, I use 2 more for another reason that I'll show you shortly. But to get this piece, you start out with a line 7 inches long, and then at the end of the line, one end, make a perpendicular line 1.5 inches tall, and then off of that you straighten out a line 5 3/4 inches, and then you at the opposite end of the 7-inch line, I made a line that was, I gotta draw that in, 3/4 inches tall of the 7-inch line. Get my quill here. That's 3/4. So you got your 7-inch line, and then at one end you have an 1.5 inch tall line. One end, the other end 3/4 inch tall, and then at this end down here, the 1.5 inch, you straight out a 5 3/4 inch line, and then you basically can connect those 2 right there, and that'll give you your aileron piece. And I have seen where, like my cousin, he'll straighten it out a little farther and make a couple more angles here. It makes it look more rounded, which looks nice. But that'll give you your basic piece if you want to go with that. That should work for you. Pretty simple and easy to cut out. So 2 of them for ailerons, but I put ×4. The other 2 that I've ended up using in the past are for, I don't know if you can quite see them on this. On the airplane, I put one here and one here, glued them in, and that helps hold this main stick in place. So you can wait on that later if you only want to make 2 and then think about it later. You can think of some other way to anchor that in, but it tends to make a nice anchor for this motor mount here in the future. But we'll address that later when we get to it. So yeah, if you want to, I would suggest making 4 of these, and seem like I believe that concludes today's lesson, and we'll catch you next time. Good luck to you. See ya. Bye.